Normally I don't do reviews on games, but this is my childhood we're talking about. I have to. So earlier this year, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were announced, and when I heard about it, I got so excited. Growing up, Pokemon was one of the biggest things in my childhood. It was so much fun to play. I have all the games so far. I've got pretty much all the episodes of the anime. I love it. And the thing about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was that these were the games that were probably my favourite of all the Pokemon games so far. Growing up, I started like a lot of people. I had Pokemon Red, had Pokemon Blue, even Pokemon Yellow. And those games were excellent. Those are the games that got me hooked on Pokemon. But when I first played Pokemon, I was still really young. So I didn't think much about playing the game. It was just a video game and I played it. But then I got a bit older and then Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire came out on the Game Boy Advance. It was that point where I really started thinking about the games and actually really getting into the storylines of the games. It's everything about it. And for my Game Boy Advance, the first ever Pokemon game was Pokemon Ruby. And being a Pokemon fan, I can honestly say, up to now, my favourite generation is 3rd gen. A lot of people might think that's a bit weird. A lot of people have different favourites, but I've always been a Gen 3 guy. I started at Gen 1, but Gen 3 I just loved so much. And Pokemon Ruby was a big part of why. So the fact that I have Pokemon Omega Ruby, I'm so happy. And like I said before, on this channel, I probably won't talk too much about different video games. But because this particular game is such a big part of my childhood, I'm gonna talk about it. I think the last time that I played Omega Ruby was about 2 or 3 minutes before I made this video. And for the last few days, I've only had this game for a couple of days, I just can't stop playing it. But I wanted to take some time out to make this video because there's so much I need to talk about and get off my chest. Now you should know, before you watch any more of this video, I'm gonna totally be a giant fanboy here. So you might not understand some of the stuff I'm going to talk about if you haven't played Pokemon yet, especially Pokemon Ruby. So this review is just going to be on Pokemon Omega Ruby, not Alpha Sapphire. Eventually, I will be getting Alpha Sapphire, probably really soon. But I had to get Omega Ruby first because this is the game that really got me into Pokemon. And one last thing before I start, I'm sorry if you hear some noises in the background. There is some road work happening outside, so hopefully the noise in the background doesn't annoy you too much. Now, about this review, I'm going to try not to go into too many spoilers. But you should know that I actually haven't played that much yet because I've been trying to absorb so much of the game. It's taken me a while to get to where I am, and I'm only at the 2nd gym. That's how far I've gotten so far. And I got the game a few days ago. Some of you might call me slow because I only got that far, but I've had other things on. But yeah, like I said, I'm trying to absorb much of the game as possible. So I'm doing like everything, talking to everyone, walking everywhere, keep going back into grass to find different types of Pokemon. So that's why it's taken a while. And because I'm only at the 2nd gym, this won't be a full review on the game. This is going to be more about what I like so far, what I'm excited to see, and that's going to be about it. After I have finished Omega Ruby, I will most likely make a review on the entire game. So subscribe to my channel to watch out for that one. Okay, so onto the game. Now starting the game out, you have the 3 Pokemon that you can pick. Torchic, Trico, and Mudkip. Now, when I originally played Pokemon Ruby, there was one Pokemon out of those 3 that I was so excited to play. Mostly because I saw what the final form was, and I just thought it was the most coolest thing ever, and it's probably, to this day, one of my favourite Pokemon of all time. That was Blaziken. So in Pokemon Ruby, Torchic was who I picked. It was an easy decision. I picked Torchic. But with this game, it was a bit different. Like, because of nostalgia, playing Pokemon Ruby and I picked Torchic. Omega Ruby, you would think, yeah, I'll pick Torchic on this too, because it will remind me so much of Pokemon Ruby. But that's not what I did. Because one of the last Pokemon games I played was Pokemon X. On that game, that was the first one I got out of that and Pokemon Y. When I got X, it was about the same time that the Torchic event was out. You know, the one that had the speed boost, could be Mega Blaziken. That was the one I got. And right now, that Torchic is Blaziken, or should I say Mega Blaziken. He's level 100 with speed boost, and he just owns. So going into Omega Ruby, I didn't want to get Torchic because I already have this Mega Blaziken level 100 that's just awesome, and I'm not going to get a new one because then it just won't be the same. And I think a lot of people were like that when they saw these games coming out. People knew who the 3 starters would be because they played the original games. And I bet that a lot of people didn't pick Torchic just because they had a Mega Blaziken on their X or Y. I was one of them. So from picking the other 2 Pokemon, you had Trico and Mudkip. Now, I kept saying to myself over the years, if a remake was to happen, which I was really hoping would happen, I still had no idea who I would pick between Trico and Mudkip. Now, around the time I was playing X and Y, and I saw you have Torchic, that reminded me about Pokemon Ruby, and it made me think if a remake of Ruby and Sapphire was going to come out, I wouldn't pick Torchic, because I already had it. So who would I pick between Trico and Mudkip? And until it was actually announced that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was going to be a thing, I still didn't know who I would pick as my starter. Then one day, Nintendo announced something that a lot of people were expecting. We had a Mega Blaziken, so of course you got to have Mega Sceptile and Mega Swampert. And then seeing these Mega Evolutions made my decision a lot easier. I saw Mega Sceptile and he just looked amazing. And not only did he look amazing, he had now gained Dragon typing. Now that's awesome. Originally seeing his design, I thought it could have been Grass Electric. So seeing that Mega Evolution, Trico was a clear choice. So going into these new games, I knew I would pick Trico, but I didn't. Because Mega Swampert was so much cooler than Mega Sceptile. Like, seriously, did you see him? He's so bulky. The look of Mega Swampert, he is such a beast. Why would you not pick him? I knew straight away from seeing Mega Swampert, he was gonna be who I would pick. I knew I would be picking Mudkip the second I got the game. So I get Omega Ruby, start the game, and straight away, I've picked Mudkip. Now over the last year of playing Pokemon, I have changed a bit. Usually, I don't nickname Pokemon at all. I don't know why, it was just something I didn't do. I just liked having the Pokemon, their original names, and then just train them up really cool. But over the last year, since playing Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, I've noticed a lot of people have been nicknaming their Pokemon more. And I can understand why now, because I've grown up a bit more. Because nicknaming a Pokemon gives you such a bigger bond with your Pokemon. Like every single Pokemon you catch, you nickname them. And then like you'll go back in your PC or something, see a Pokemon with a certain nickname, and then you'll be like, yeah, I know why I nicknamed you that. And stuff like that, that makes you just want to nickname your Pokemon. So playing Omega Ruby, I have to this point so far nicknamed all my Pokemon. There's only one Pokemon I haven't nicknamed, and that was the shiny Beldum that you get through an event. But when I got Mudkip, it was so hard to think of a nickname for him. I just thought something to do with water, something to do with strong water, and then thinking of Mega Swampert, because everyone knows when you get a starter Pokemon, you're not thinking of that little Pokemon, you're thinking what his final form is going to be. Now, I make it sound like I'm obsessed with Mega Swampert. I love Mega Swampert. I always liked Mudkip though, so just seeing little Mudkip was great enough. But of course I wanted Mega Swampert. So trying to nickname Mudkip, I had to think of a name for what Swampert was going to be. And seeing Mega Swampert, like I said, he's just bulky, he's so strong. So obviously it had to be a name that was going to represent that, as well as being a water type. And I thought, I had a couple ideas. Some big water things like a cyclone or tsunami, something like that. I had a few names, but I landed on Cyclone just because they're huge and they just destroy everything. And that is exactly what my Swampert is going to do, you know, once it becomes Swampert. At the moment, I'm only at Marshtomp. Now, like I said, I'm only at the second gym so far at Dooford Town. I actually haven't versed Brawly yet, but it was landing on Dooford Town that made me want to make this video. Like, I had this idea to make the video, but once I landed on Dooford Town, I knew I was going to go and make this video right now before I got any more excited. Because in the original Pokemon Ruby, Dooford Town was one of my favourite towns. I'm not sure exactly why, maybe because it was on this island and it was such a cool little town which had a gym, this nice cave with some cool Pokemon in it. Dooford Town was definitely one of my favourite places in Pokemon Ruby. With Pokemon Ruby being one of my favourite Pokemon games in general, Dooford Town is way up there on one of my favourite places in all the Pokemon games. So once I landed on Duford Town, I just thought, I'm gonna make this video, because when I saw what the whole town looked like, compared to what it looked like on Ruby, like I loved it in Ruby, but seeing it, what it looked like on this game, in 3D, seeing what this town looked like in 3D, my god, it looks awesome. It looks slightly similar to the original game. I'd be annoyed if it wasn't, but it just looked awesome. There was so much detail in that town. So I knew when I saw it, I was like, I can't hold it anymore. I have to talk about this. So here I am. So once I've made this video, I will be beating Brawly with my Marshtomp. To sum up what I've done so far, I have tried to catch pretty much every Pokemon that I've seen in the wild. And something I'm going to talk about in a sec, this new Pokedex feature, which allows you to scan for Pokemon. And sometimes you'll see a Pokemon sticking out the grass, and then they may have a special move or ability. And that is a really cool new feature for this game. So I've been using that to help me find all the Pokemon so far that you can find in the wild. And even though I pretty much caught all the Pokemon so far that I can find, my team has only got 4 Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon I just put in my PC after I nicknamed them, of course. But there's been 4 Pokemon that I'll be using for a while. Maybe 3. There's one Pokemon there that I might keep using, but I know there's going to be a lot more awesome Pokemon, and it's just at the moment I like having this Pokemon on my team because it's different typing from all the other Pokemon. Now let me tell you what these 4 Pokemon are. So of course I got Cyclone, the Marshtomp. He is a level 15. I've tried to raise all my Pokemon up to level 15 to take on Brawly, and yeah, I'm going to kick his ass. Even though he's a fighting trainer, he should be kicking my ass. I'm going to kick his ass though. And second, I have Beldum, who you originally shouldn't be able to get yet, but I, like I said, got him from an event. You know, he's the one that you get from that event. You know, the one that everyone has put on their team because he's shiny and has the Mega Grow Sites. So unfortunately, like I said, I could not name Beldum because he's an event Pokemon. I'm hoping that when I go to the name raider in Slayport City, I can change his name. I just have no idea what it's going to be yet, but I've got a couple of ideas in mind for Metagross. And then my third and other main guy on my team so far, which I'll probably keep on for a while, is my Poochyena, who I named Shadow. Why did I name him Shadow? I have no idea why I named him Shadow. It's just when I think of Mightyena, I just think Shadow. That may sound weird, but it's just, I think it's a really cool name. And because something about me, my favorite animal is a wolf. And so seeing Mightyena, I think of a wolf. I don't know if he's actually a dog or if he's a wolf. I'm going to say he's a wolf because he looks more like a wolf to me. Ever since I started nicknaming Pokemon, whenever I saw Mightyena, I just thought Shadow. I could have thought of a bunch of different names, but Shadow is this main name that comes to mind. But it is my game, so Shadow is what I'm going with. A lot of you will probably have better names. If you caught a Poochyena so far and nicknamed him, could you comment below and let me know what you nicknamed him? Just give me some ideas. Like, I already nicknamed him, but I just want to know what some other people named him. And also let me know if you think Mightyena is a dog or a wolf. Like I said, I'm sticking with wolf. So Shadow is about the same level as Cyclone and Beldum. So I believe that Poochyena evolves into Mightyena at level 18. So with Poochyena being at level 15 right now, he ain't got that far to go. But unfortunately, I'm not going to use him against Brawly because being a dark type, his fighting Pokemon will destroy him. Now, this is a Poochyena that a lot of you probably caught because he was one of the first Pokemon that you see sticking out the grass and you run up to him. It was when you first found out that you could use that special Pokedex feature to find Pokemon, and you found out that this Poochyena had Firefang on him. And I bet a lot of you caught him knowing he had Firefang. Now, like I said, my favourite animal is a wolf, so grabbing Poochyena was a must, and then I'd train him up. So when I saw this Poochyena and he knew Firefang, I knew this was the one I was going to have on my team. And at the moment, Firefang is an excellent move for Poochyena because so far on my team, I don't have a fire Pokemon. I'm pretty sure you couldn't even encounter a fire Pokemon at this moment. You haven't even seen a trainer use a fire Pokemon yet. That's not until further in the game. So Poochyena knowing Firefang is a huge deal, and so that is a really good reason to keep Poochyena on my team. Now my fourth Pokemon that I have, he's probably not going to stay on my team forever, but it's just this Pokemon is a Shroomish, and he's probably going to stay on my team till I find another grass type or some other type of Pokemon. Shroomish is just going to be there just because when he evolves into Breloom, he will be grass and fighting, 2 types which are not on my team yet. So what do I have so far? Marshtomp, which is water and ground, Beldum, which is steel and will soon be psychic type as well, and then I have Poochyena, who's a dark type, who knows a fire move. So there's 6 types so far. So having a grass and fighting type for Breloom, that's going to really help my team. Now this Shroomish that I have at the moment, I think he's a couple levels below the other 3. Now like I said, he might not stay on my team. So at the moment he is a couple levels below. I called Shroomish Shrooms. Yes, I know, that's a very plain nickname. I bet a lot of people named him Shrooms. Really? Not many? I named him Shrooms because, I don't know, first thing that comes to mind when I see Shroomish, I just Shrooms. I'm going to call him Shroom. So at the moment, 4 Pokemon, 3 main Pokemon, and of course, yeah, when I finish this, I'm going to go destroy Brawly. So let me tell you some of the differences I've seen so far from Omega Ruby compared to Ruby. One of the big differences I've seen so far is now that instead of 1 screen on a Game Boy Advance, you have the 2 screens for your DS. The bottom screen has the PokéNav, or now called the PokéNav Plus. Now the PokéNav Plus has some cool features. It has a couple of different applications on it. One being the DexNav. Now the DexNav is what I was trying to explain earlier. You can use this DexNav to search Pokemon in a certain area, and it will keep telling you if you have all the Pokemon in that area, and it will kind of show you which ones you haven't seen or caught yet. And this DexNav will allow you to also find cool Pokemon that may be sticking out the grass a bit. You'll see the top of the Pokemon out the grass, and you can go up to it using a new feature, which I was totally surprised when I saw this, the sneaking feature. You can sneak up to the Pokemon that's sticking out the grass and surprise them, and then you battle with them, and then they either have a hidden ability or an egg move. And that's how I found that Poochyena with the Fire Fang. It's cool things like that. The other apps on that PokéNav Plus is the Area Nav, which is pretty much your town map, and of course that comes in really handy when you're trying to find places. But like I said before, I love 3rd gen, so the whole Poen area I know off by heart, so I don't really need the Area Nav, but it's always coming in handy. There's 2 other apps. There's the Buzz Nav, which is like kind of like you're watching TV. It has different things will come up, different news reports. They'll be talking about something you've just done, or just news about something. I can't talk about it too much yet because, like I said, I'm only at the 2nd gym. I only just got the Buzz Nav, so I don't really know too much about it yet. And I haven't really been using it because I use the Dex Nav more. And the last of the applications being the Play Nav, which does all those things that you could do on Pokemon X and Y. Those being Pokemon ME, Super Training, and all that online stuff like Wonder Trade. So it's awesome to still have those features because some of those things you could do were just awesome. Like on Pokemon X, I don't know how long I spent Wonder Trading and getting shit Pokemon for it. Mind you, some of the Pokemon I gave out were pretty shit too. So some other differences that I've noticed. Obviously, because this is a whole new game, it looks the same as what Ruby and Sapphire did, but the look, because it's on a 3DS, not just a Game Boy Advance, the whole look of this is so much more detailed. Like everything is 3D now. Your player is taller, he looks like he's more there now. You got all the buildings which has shadow come off them. They stand off the ground, and then at some points you can switch into 3D mode, like when you go in the caves and stuff. And at that point, everything stands out more, and it's just awesome. And I've been going crazy at some of these bits on this game, because so many parts of Pokemon Ruby I loved, so many areas that I loved. So seeing these on Omega Ruby and going into full detail of these places, and when you go to these places and just see what it looks like, I go crazy. And that's probably one of the reasons I've taken so long to play, because like I said, I'm trying to absorb as much of this new game as possible because it's so much nostalgia to me. So I'll spend a few minutes just walking around the place, seeing how cool it looks. Now these are next differences I'm going to talk about. These aren't things I've actually seen so far in the game, but these are things I know about the game from seeing trailers and hearing all the information about Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Those being that new features on these games have come in, ones that weren't in back in Ruby and Sapphire. These were things like obviously Mega Evolutions, all this new online stuff, new evolutions. Like something that you can probably do now is you can evolve certain Pokemon from this generation that couldn't evolve back in Ruby and Sapphire. Like, top of my head, Roselia and even Curlier. Both of those Pokemon didn't have an evolution until 4th gen. And both of those Pokemon evolve using new stones that weren't even introduced in Ruby and Sapphire. So it's cool playing these games again. It feels like I'm playing Pokemon Ruby, but now I can evolve Pokemon like them. I haven't done it yet. I don't have either of those Pokemon, but it's good to know I can do that. But like new evolution methods, you can do that now. Like in Petalburg Woods, I noticed a Moss Rock, which obviously you can use that to evolve your Eevee into Leafeon. But another Pokemon that was introduced in Gen 4, you couldn't do that back in Gen 3. It's amazing how they've incorporated all these new things about Pokemon into this old game, and they found certain spots like I was saying in Petalburg Woods, you find the Moss Rock, and it looks like a whole little area has just opened up just so you can get to the Moss Rock. Something that wasn't there before. But yeah, like I said before, big difference is Mega Evolutions, and now a lot more Pokemon can Mega Evolve than even in Pokemon X and Y. And of course, because it's remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, most of these new Megas are Gen 3. And being a Gen 3 fanboy, I've been excited every single time I saw a new Mega Evolution for a Gen 3 Pokemon. Because I've just totally given up on seeing new evolutions for old Pokemon. I've totally given up on that. Once they introduced Mega Evolutions in X and Y, I knew we weren't getting evolutions of old Pokemon anymore. Look, I still hope that happens some point. I highly doubt it now because they're going to try and Mega Evolve every single fully evolved Pokemon. And I mean every single Mega Evolution for a Gen 3 Pokemon I've been excited about. Even those ones that look weird. I'm looking at you, Mega Sharpedo. Don't worry, Sharpedo, though. I still like your Mega form. And I'll definitely be trying to get the Mega Stone for you so you can become your Mega form. Because it does look cool. Just not as good as the others. But I still like it. And the other thing being big storyline differences. Now you got these primal evolutions, which totally blew me away when I heard about them. When I first saw the images for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and you saw those two Pokemon, when people saw them they thought, they do look a bit different. A lot of people thought they looked exactly the same, but me being one of the people who saw them and thought, they do look a bit different. Now seeing them, people think off the top of their head, this is a Mega Evolution. Maybe not that much has changed, but they do look slightly different. Even if it's like just slight colour change. Yeah, people thought there was something up. So when they introduced Primal Evolutions, not Mega Evolutions, Primal Evolutions, that was crazy. Now something interesting about those Primal Evolutions, when I first saw Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre, I actually leaned towards Primal Kyogre. I have kept saying Omega Ruby would be the game I wanted because of Ruby being just that great game from my childhood. And I loved Groudon, obviously because of me being a Ruby fanboy. I love Groudon. And I still to this day love Groudon. It's probably one of my favourite legendary Pokemon of all time. But Primal Evolution wise, I think Kyogre looked a lot better than what Primal Groudon looked. So there has been a lot of changes from what Ruby and Sapphire was to what Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is. Now, like I said, I haven't played Alpha Sapphire yet, so I can't really say much about it, but I'm guessing it's going to be like Omega Ruby. I'll definitely get Alpha Sapphire, because like I said, I get every single Pokemon game there is. I always get both of the pair, because I just love Pokemon that much. And like any dedicated fan would say, you gotta catch them all. I'm sorry, that sounded really lame. I promise I will not do that again. Maybe. There are differences in these two games, and I'm loving what they've done with these new games. And it's just amazing how much nostalgia I'm having for this Omega Ruby. And I'm so hyped to kick Broly's ass when I finish filming this. And like I said, I will be making a full review on this. Once I've beaten the Elite Four on Pokemon Omega Ruby, I will make another video on this game. Then I'll let you know what I completely think of the game, and I'll probably go into a bit more detail about the game, how I did it, and just how amazing it is. So heads up, that video will have spoilers. So there's my review on Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. What did you think of it? Please comment below and let me know what you thought. Now one last thing before I let you go. I have just started this channel. I have not got that many videos yet, but I am planning on doing a lot more. And one of these things, because of just being in this Pokemon mood because of the new game, I have this idea, because I've made, if you check my channel, I've made a top 5 favourite actors. Now that video, I enjoy doing countdowns. So I was thinking, if you like, eventually I can do some Pokemon top 5s. Like, it kind of doesn't match with, like, my channel is supposed to be more about reviews and then top 5s of different things to do with movies, TV shows. That's what it's more about, TV and movies things. But because I'm such a big Pokemon fan, I actually really would like to make some top 5s on Pokemon. So they will be lists like top 5 Pokemon of different types, top 5 anime characters, top 5 game characters, top 5 generations, which from this video you can probably guess what my favourite generation is, because I probably said it already in this video, I cannot remember. And of course, top 5 Pokemon in general. But I actually would like to make these videos, so just let me know below if you would like to see some of these videos, because I think it'd be really fun. And I like to talk about things that I like, and Pokemon being probably the most nostalgic thing from my childhood, I have so much to talk about Pokemon. So I think it'd be really fun to make these videos and tell you what I think. So did you like this review? What did you think of it? Have you played Pokemon Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire? Which one did you get? Which starter did you get? Let me know what you think about the games. Even if you haven't completed it yet, let me know what you think about it. And of course, if you like what you see here, click right here to see more. Gotta catch them all!